This week on Irish Bandit Revolution, we take a look at some of the absolute best series finales to ever come on TV. We're talking about my 5 all-time favorite series finales. Irish Bandit Revolution begins now. Welcome back to another edition of Irish Bandit Revolution. I hope everyone is having a great week. I, as always, am your host, the one, the only, the second Irish Bandit. This week on the show, we are taking a look back at 5 of my all-time favorite series finales. Now, we are in the month of April, and it's getting to that time where a lot of our favorite shows are coming to an end. Be it the season finale for most, or series finale. Just this past few months alone, we've heard that Arrow is going to be coming to an end in season 8. Criminal Minds is going to be coming to an end in season 15. Big Bang Theory is going to be coming to an end this coming May with an hour-long series finale. You know, I've watched the first episode of Big Bang Theory. Now, you know, if you've watched this channel for a long time, you know I'm not the biggest Big Bang Theory fan, but I might have to watch that episode just to say I watched it, because I've seen the series premiere, the pilot episode. It only makes sense to watch the series finale, so. But a lot of good shows are coming to an end very, very soon, and we're going to be taking a look at 5 of my all-time favorite series finales. These are just head and shoulders above the rest. Great, great ways for a show to end, in my opinion. If you have something else, let me know in the description, in the comments down below what you think is a great series finale, and I'll definitely look at it. So let's kick it off with a show we actually talked about last week when we ranked all 7 seasons of Rescue Me. I thought this was just a fantastic series finale for Rescue Me. So a bit of a mild spoiler warning from here on out. I'm going to try my best to not give away too much for these shows, but I can't make any guarantees when it comes to that. So yeah, the Rescue Me series finale just ended so perfectly. It just wrapped up everything about the series. You had everybody coming to grips with what happened the episode before, with the mother of all fires going on, and the death of a beloved member of the firehouse happening. You saw people grow into new roles. And you saw Tommy just change a little bit. He was, I want to say he was less cynical, but this is Tommy Gavin we're talking about. Probably one of those cynical guys on the planet. But we saw him get his life back together. We saw him get his family back together. We saw his new son be born, who they named Shay, after a character who passed away in the earlier episode. It was just so well done, and just, it almost ended the way it started, because the way this series started is Tommy Gavin talking to a whole bunch of these probies about 9/11, and that, you know, we're not in the hero business. And that's the exact same speech he gave this new crew of probies who are coming up from the academy. So, and it was just done so well, and Dennis Leary just knocked that one out of the park. It was just magnificent, and just a beautiful way to end the series, and I just absolutely love it. Coming in at number 4 is another show that I've talked about extensively. It is another great FX series. You know, looking back at this list, you know, a lot of these finales come from FX series, and, well, these next 3 at least. Well, Rescue Me, coming in at number 4 and coming in at number 3, are all FX series, but they were just so well done from beginning to end, and told such a great cohesive story through all 7 seasons. And you had incredible acting in this episode from everyone involved. Michael Chiklis, Walton Goggins, who gives the performance of a lifetime in this finale. Just everyone involved. Kathy Cahill-Ryan, even Michael Chiklis' daughter Autumn gives a Yeah, Autumn gives a fantastic performance. Coming in at number 4, fantastic series finale, which goes to show you don't wish for things you don't, careful what you wish for, you just might get it. Coming in at number 4, The Shield. So, as I said, what I took away from the finale of The Shield was that careful what you wish, you just might get it, and you just might not like what you get. Because that's what happens with Vic Mackey. He's already drummed out of the LAPD, takes this just nonsensical retirement thing, but he has to close up a big case before he does that. He's trying to get something going with ICE to, flush out the gangs of Los Angeles, where he thinks he's going to be on the front line, cracking skulls and taking down all these gangs. And he's reduced to a desk job, something he's trying to avoid. While all this is going on, his family is just falling apart. His wife, his 3 children have gone into witness protection, and he doesn't know where they are. So now he has to try to find them. He gives this whole speech with Laurie Holden, best known as Andrea from The Walking Dead, has just this fantastic role throughout the final season of The Shield, where she plays an ICE agent who Vic is trying to butter up and, is there a position for me in ICE? And when he goes into detail about everything they did from the very first episode of The Shield, where Terry Crowley, who's supposed to be a member of the strike team, turns out he's more of an informant for justice. When Vic shoots him, he starts there and just goes through everything, and you see the look of disgust on Olivia's face. That's the character who Laurie Holden plays. This look of disgust on her face, and it's like, do you know what you've done to me? And Vic just looks at her and goes, I've done worse. While all this is going on, CCH Pounder, who I absolutely adore, she is just, one of the best things about The Shield and everything she's been in since, like Warehouse 13. Granted, I haven't watched NCIS New Orleans, but I'm sure she's fantastic in that as well. But all this time, her character of Claudette, who is now the chief, the captain of the barn, she's trying to get Vic on corruption charges, and when he makes this deal, that gives him immunity, and she's just flipping her you-know-what over this. Like, she's been trying to get Vic for like 2 seasons, and he spills the beans all for immunity, and nothing can be done to him. And she just loses it in one of the most powerful performances. I love this finale. It was just so well done, and it is how a finale should be. Like, other finales should take notes on how it should be done. Like, I'm going to go on a bit of a tangent here, but 2 series finales I can just say right off the bat where you just let me down so much are the series finale of Angel, where they just kind of ended like Angel just says to the gang, I want to take out a dragon. Okay, sure, let's see the battle or something. I wanted to see that, and it just ends. And then the series finale that I loathe the most, because I love this series, the first 4 seasons, and then the quality just shot all to hell in season 5, was Dexter. I hated that finale. That was so terrible. And other shows could learn from this. This is what I'm like dreading come this series finale of Criminal Minds. Like, what's going to happen? Are they going to just totally muck this up, or is this going to be something great? Maybe I'll do a review on that when that comes around, because Criminal Minds is one of my favorite shows on TV right now, and as much as I do agree it's time for it to end, I'm also sad to see it go because I absolutely love it. But that's enough of my tangent. But The Shield is just superbly done. Everyone does such a great job. And I cannot rave enough about Walton Goggins in this series finale. He was just so mesmerizing throughout the entire episode. And his end, the end of Shane Vandrell, the character he plays, was so shocking and had so much of an impact on this show. I can't say enough good things about The Shield. I cannot say enough good things about this series finale. It is a must watch. Another show that I absolutely love, probably one of my favorite, if not my favorite show that has aired within the last 10 years or so. You see me wearing shirts every now and then, like this one. This was such a great series finale. Also, a link between The Shield and Sons of Anarchy is Kurt Sutter, who wrote, produced, and had guest starring roles in The Shield. He created, produced, directed, had guest starring roles in Sons of Anarchy. And I think Papa's Goods was just one of the greatest finales I've ever seen. Coming in at number 3, Sons of Anarchy. So admittedly, I came late to the Sons of Anarchy party. By the time I started watching, it was already into its 3rd season, I believe. And my family just kept going on. My mother especially was going, "Oh, you should watch Sons of Anarchy. It's such a great show. It's such a great show." I'm like, "Okay, I've heard of it, but I don't really know much about it." Like, honestly, before I started watching Sons of Anarchy, I was like, Ron Perlman has the look. He should play like a biker or somebody in a motorcycle club. Come to find out, he's been playing president of a motorcycle club for 3 seasons at that point when I was saying anything. But Sons of Anarchy was so good. Like, it had its up and down moments, but for the most part, it was just a fantastic series. And the show ended so wonderfully. It was such a fantastic finale, and it ended the way it should have, like a full circle type of thing, the sins of the father kind of deal, where you had Jax Teller mirroring the fate of his own father, John. So there's not much I can say about this finale other than how good it was. The acting was just fantastic. I think one of my favorite moments of the series, of the show itself, like of the episode, is just this tender moment with one of the characters, Tig, played by Saskatoon boy Kim Coates, which kind of got to me because I didn't think Tig would make it to the end of the series. So to see him in this tender moment of pure emotion and vulnerability, like, I gotta give big props to Kim Coates for playing that. It was so heart-wrenching to see because he loved Jax like family. Well, that was the whole thing with Sons of Anarchy, brotherhood. Like, nothing could shake this bond between them. And you saw that the brotherhood was shaken, but nothing could come between them. Not even corruption or anything like that. And they just stood through it all, standing tall. Like, in the end, Jax giving up his presidency to Chibs. Chibs making Tig the new VP of the club, which was honestly a great choice. Because I didn't think Tig would make it to the end of the series. Everything that happened to him from season 1 onward, it was like, no, Tig's not making it to the end. Tig's dying this season. Oh my god, it's this season, Tig's gonna die. And he was able to skate through it like nothing else. And I'm happy to see that Kim Coates is still acting. He's got another series out called Bad Blood. Haven't seen it yet. I really want to see it. Charlie Hunnam is dipping his toes into more movies. He's got a new one out on Netflix with Ben Affleck. Awesome. And Ron Perlman's still killing it after all these years. And, oh wow, his Twitter game is strong. But Sons of Anarchy, fantastic series, and of just a perfect way. Absolutely perfect way to end the series. I think of the more modern shows, this one probably ranks as the best series finale of all time because it was one of the best series of all time, especially of the last few years. Like, again, this is another one I came late to, but oh my god, what a fantastic series. Perfectly cast, perfectly acted, just everything about it. Cinematography was fantastic, and this series finale just killed it. And if it wasn't for number 1, this one would probably be tops. But coming in at number 2 as my number 2 favorite series finale of all time, Breaking Bad. Much like with Sons of Anarchy, I didn't get into Breaking Bad until much, much later. I actually think that the series had already ended by the time I started watching it, but watch it I did. And yeah, everyone who said that it just got better every season were absolutely correct. Because, like, if you look back at the ranking that I did on Breaking Bad, coming in at number 5, and my number 1 favorite season, season 5, and yeah, it was just that good. Like, it was so well cast. Bryan Cranston, Aaron Paul, Giancarlo Esposito, Dean Norris, who I think was just fantastic. I love his line in his final episode, where my name is Agent Hank Shredder. You go F yourself. That was just wonderful. He really brought it for that series. Like, I absolutely loved Dean Norris's character in that show, and just it was, I can't rave enough about this series. It was so good from beginning to end. And I think the final episode just kind of, it was that emotional gut punch that I don't think people saw coming. But it's what we needed to end the series, because we needed that feeling of closure to everything. When, it was kind of left ambiguous as to what would happen. I have my ideas of what happened to Walter White at the end, but if you have your own conclusions, that's fine too. But I absolutely think this finale was perfect in every way, and nothing has topped it since. Like, even with everything we've talked about today, Sons of Anarchy, The Shield, even with the honorable mentions, nothing has topped it since. And I think it's one of those series finales that stands the test of time, and people are going to look back and say that is good TV right there. From the acting, the cinematography, the writing, Vince Gilligan just did a fantastic job throughout the entire series, and it's definitely one that you can rewatch, but it's kind of hard to rewatch some parts of the series. Like, I mean, I can't remember what season it was, but when Gus Fring met his end, holy God, wow. When that explosion hit and he walked out of the hospital room, I'm like, no, he can't survive that. And, whoa, that was grisly as hell. And I absolutely loved it. But yeah, Breaking Bad, if number 1 wasn't what it was, this would definitely be number 1. But we'll get to number 1 in a second. But before then, let's get to a couple honorable mentions. All right, here it is, the show that is my all-time favorite series finale. This show ran for 11 seasons from 1972 to 1983. Back then, that was unheard of to have a show last that long. And it's kind of funny when you think about it. A show about a 2-year war lasted 11 seasons. But from everything that I've heard, if you took all the episodes from the pilot episode to the final episode, that would roughly run about 2 years. So I'm not sure. Because I think, if I remember correctly, they had like 3 or 4 Christmas episodes. And a 2-year war, you should only have like 2 Christmas episodes. But whatever. This was a fantastic series finale in every sense of the term. The writing, the acting, just everything about it was so spot on. And just an emotional gut punch from beginning to end. My all-time favorite series finale, titled Goodbye, Farewell, and Amen, from MASH. The series finale of MASH held the record for the longest time for the most watched primetime show. Unfortunately, it was beaten by a more recent Super Bowl, but it will always hold the record for most watched primetime series finale episode. It was just a fantastic episode from beginning to end. Like, when you make the realization that Hawkeye Pierce, main character of the show, is in a mental ward for something that happened. He just has a complete breakdown after an incident on a medical bus, and he hasn't come to grips with it yet. And we see as his psychiatrist Sydney, no, not Sydney Glass, his name was Sydney, whatever it was. But we see Sydney just kind of break away at everything for Hawkeye, just trying to make that breakthrough of what it was that sent him over the edge. And when we find out what sends him over the edge, it's just so heartbreaking and emotional. Like, okay, maybe Alan Alda does ham it up a little bit, but I think we can afford him that. Then you have all the other stories going on around the same time. You know, Hawkeye returning to the 4077, Winchester befriending a group of Chinese musicians. You have the final days of the Korean War going on at the same time, so everybody's making all these plans to go home. You have Klinger, who for the longest time was trying to get out of Korea and trying to get out of the army with a Section 8 wearing women's dresses. He decides to stay in Korea with his new wife to find her family. It was just everything going on at the same time, just made for a wonderful, wonderful episode. It's not one you can watch over and over again because it does have that emotional gut punch. Like Hawkeye's breakdown. Winchester with his musical troupe. And just everything. BJ thinking he's going to get to go home, but those plans have been rescinded. It was just an emotional episode and one of the finest pieces of television that there has ever been and ever will be. This set the standard of what a series finale should be. And as a little side note, I don't know if this was because everyone just had to go to the bathroom at the same time. Again, they didn't want to miss it, or they just, flushed toilets out of respect. But after the first airing of the series finale, the New York waterworks system saw a huge intake of water through the sewage system for everybody flushing their toilets all at the same time. Now, like I said, I don't know whether that was because everybody was going to the bathroom at the same time, or if that was because everyone is getting up to flush toilets out of respect for the show. But it's just one of those little pieces of trivia that just kind of, wow. The impact MASH had as a series. And to think, it almost ended after the first season, back in 1973. But because the president of CBS at the time, his wife, loved the show, they kept it on, put it in a better time slot after All in the Family, and it was off to the races and made history, winning so many Emmy Awards, and just adulation that it absolutely deserves, and had a fantastic cast behind it. Alan Alda, Wayne Rogers for the first 3 seasons, Larry Linville for 6 seasons. No, Sally Kellerman played her in the movie. It was based on the movie MASH, which was based on the book. Loretta Swit, that's it. For the first 3 seasons, McLean Stevenson as Colonel Henry Blake. For the remaining seasons, Harry Morgan as Colonel Sherman Potter. Jamie Farr as Klinger, probably one of my favorite characters on TV because he's just he's wacky but not weird. Or I think one of my favorite lines from the entire series it's in one of the first 3 seasons. Klinger's wearing one of his dresses, and you have Major Frank Burns, and he's calling Klinger a pervert, and Trapper Johns looks at me. Klinger's not a pervert. Oh yeah, how would you know? Because I'm a pervert and he's never been attending any of the meetings. Just the comedic timing with everyone on the show was just brilliant, especially when you had Alan Alda with Wayne Rogers or Mike Farrell. Everyone just fed off of each other, and to hear that to this day that they still have that bond together, like everybody in the show. I recently listened to Alan Alda's Vivid and Clear podcast where he had a roundtable with the surviving cast members of the show, because unfortunately so many cast members have passed away since then. Wayne Rogers has passed away, McLean Stevenson, Larry Linville, William Christopher has passed away. David Ogden Sires, who played Winchester, has passed away, unfortunately. But the surviving cast members got together on Al Nall's podcast just to talk about their experience on the show, and it was just wonderful to hear them laughing and talking and reminiscing. Just everybody saying "I love you," and MASH is probably one of the greatest series that ever was. And Goodbye, Farewell, and Amen is by far and away the best series finale ever. Well, that about wraps it up for this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. I'd really appreciate that. What's your favorite series finale? Let me know in the comments section down below. I'd really love to hear from you. Is it one of these shows? Is it another show? Let me know, and I'd love to read your comments. In the description down below, you're going to see a link to my Redbubble store where you can pick up all your Irish Bandit merchandise, including stickers, t-shirts, ladies' racerbacks, leggings, phone cases for iPhone and Samsung, iPad cases. Whatever your heart's desire, you can click that link and see what the Irish Bandit shop has in store for you. Also in the description down below, you're going to see a link to last week's episode where we're talking about Rescue Me, and I'm ranking all 7 seasons, so go check out that episode. It's a really good episode, one that I really enjoyed doing because it's a show that I really enjoy, which, would probably be the reason why the series finale ranked number 5 on this list today. So go check that out. Don't forget to share this video anywhere you can. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. If you're already subscribed, tap that bell and you'll be notified whenever a new video gets posted or whenever I go live, like next week's mid-season finale. We're talking about the state of the channel, and we'll be going live for that one. So join me next week, 2:30 Central Standard Time, for the live Irish Bandit Revolution State of the Channel / mid-season finale. We'll get into all that next week. Have a great week, everybody, and I will talk to you again next week for another edition of Irish Bandit Revolution. I'm the Bandit, and I'm out of here. Take care.